Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Akil Askri. I'm a registered pharmacist here in Alberta, Canada. As promised in my previous video, I will be making this video about the registration process in Canada. So I will go over in details about what exactly the process is, what are the steps that you guys need to follow. So the first thing I would like to share is where to begin. So first of all, you'll have to go to Pharmacist Gateway Canada. That is a website developed by uh, the Canadian licensing bodies to make sure the international pharmacy graduates can start their process here. So if you Google it, it's called Pharmacist Gateway Canada. You should be able to easily see that. And the page kind of looks like this. Just give me 1 second here. Yeah, so you should be able to see it on my screen. It's the Pharmacist Gateway Canada. First thing you need to do is just click on that and it tells you the stepwise process, like where you need to start, what you need to do, how to apply, and the pharmacy practice in Canada and all that. So essentially, the first step you take is you go to Before You Start tab, and then you follow the process. And then I will quickly go over to how to apply. So these are all the provinces and territories that you can see on your screen. Alberta is the top one where I am practicing currently, so I will currently go over in details about Alberta. So if you click on Alberta, as you can see, it will show you the stepwise process. Like, first of all, you need to enroll in Gateway, then the exams and stuff and all that. So I will go over one by one. First step is to enroll yourself in the Pharmacist Gateway. So that means you have to make a profile on this website. You have to enroll yourself and you get a national identification number, just like NIC in Pakistan, very similar to that. But you get a number that will be your essentially basic registration number in Canada, and you will be able to use that to proceed further. This costs around $375. And if you go to the next step after that one, so this one can be done online. It's not complicated. All you have to do is you have to put your name, make a profile for yourself, your degree, when did you graduate, and stuff like that. So it's a very simple process. You can do it within few minutes, but you'll have to pay the fee right away, and it has to be through a Visa or a MasterCard. Your next step is the documents evaluation. So for the documents evaluation, you have to actually apply to the PEBC, which is the Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada. As an international graduate, you need to complete this step because this is basically assessing your education level, basically from the country you're in or from the province you're applying it for, just to make sure your degree is equivalent to a Canadian degree, a pharmacy degree, to make sure you can continue with the examining process here. So this step can take anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. They do say 8 weeks, but usually around 6 weeks time you do hear the results. And most of the time, if you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and any of those countries, our education is pretty much equivalent to here in Canada. Like if you've had 5 years PharmD, which is equivalent to Bachelor's of Pharmacy here in Canada, so you will get a letter, an email, or certification that will say, okay, we have checked all the different things and your education level is equivalent to that. But the process for that one is a little harder for a country like Pakistan. So I will go through that. This is the website, which is for the Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada, PEBC. So here you will have to submit your documents. So what you need is basically your degree. that needs to be verified either by like some agency in Pakistan or your university can verify it. The second thing that you need is your license. Like if you're registered in Punjab, then your license will be from uh, the Punjab Registration Authority for the pharmacy. I'm sorry, I just forgot. It's been a while. So the pharmacy licensing authority in Punjab will issue you a letter, and that letter you need to submit it directly to PEBC. So the problem with our authorities over there is like they don't directly mail it to PEBC. So what you have to do, you have to pay them, and then they will give you everything in a sealed envelope, and then you can mail it out to PEBC yourself directly after taking it from the Punjab Pharmacy Council. And your next step would be to get your transcript from your university and get it submitted to PEBC directly. That also is difficult because our universities, as I said, same thing like the provincial authorities, they don't usually send those documents. So what you have to do is like you have to get a transcript made, get it signed by your like dean or whatever the faculty members are there. They can sign it for you, and you can get an envelope, get it signed, get it sealed from the university, and then again you can directly mail it to PEBC yourself. So those are the key important things to note. If you like get it from the university and you mail it to somebody else and then they mail it to PEBC, PEBC won't accept that one. So it needs to be directly mailed, but if university doesn't directly mail it, you just take it, just go to the university post office and just get it mailed through them. That way it gets kind of sent directly to PEBC, and that's what they need. So this process, once they get all the documents, can take up to 8 weeks, so 2 months. Just keep that in mind. This process can take up to 2 months. And again, I'll go back to this slide here. If you look at here, this is step number 2, and you have to pay $695 for the document evaluation. Again, this one can be done from Pakistan or from any other country you're in with the Visa or the MasterCard. And this one also has to be done directly right away once you start the application process. Next one is the exams. So Canada has 2 different set of exams. The first one is the evaluation exam that all the international graduates have to do. So that one is just to evaluate that the international graduates are ready to write the exams in Canada. It's called Pharmacy Evaluation Exam or PEBC Evaluation Exam, which is an MCQ exam, and due to COVID and all the recent changes, this one can be done online. And in Pakistan, there are 3 centers, one in Karachi, one in Islamabad, and one in Lahore. So you can do it from Pakistan. The fee for this exam is $890, plus there is some tax involved in that too. So this step, again, I will go over in another video about how to prepare for the exams and stuff and where you can find like the additional material, but this one is just to give you an overview about the registration process and how long roughly it takes. So the evaluation exam has 2 attempts. Sorry, not 2 attempts. It happens twice every year. It has total of 4 attempts, and you have to pass the exam. If you fail it 4 times, you're done. You cannot be registered in Canada anymore. So you have to keep that in mind. It is offered twice a year, once in winter and once in summer. So the next step, if we go to, is the qualifying exam. So that's exam number 2, but it is in 2 different parts, which is MCQs is a part 1 The other one is the oral exam, which is Oral Standard Clinical Exam, stands for OSCE. So these two exams are a little bit more from the clinical side of things. So basically, whatever we have learned back home, we have to kind of learn everything from a clinical perspective. So these exams are tough, I will be honest. You have to work really hard to get through these exams. Again, these exams are offered also twice a year, winter and summer. Again, both of these exams have 4 attempts, and you have to make sure you pass both of them. So the fee for this one, the first one is MCQ, which is done by the Prometric. So it is also online, but you have to go to a Prometric center here in Canada. So you have to be physically here in Canada in order for this, in order for you to write this exam. Next exam is the oral standard clinical exam, which is an actual like practical exam. You have to actually perform. There are clinical stations, and you have to assess the patients. You have to assess the doctors, and we'll go over in details in one of my upcoming videos. So once you're done with these exams, so the cost for the MCQ is $835. Cost for OSCE is $1,875. For these ones, you have to be physically in Canada. After that, so this is all like a federal process. So in a minute, I will go over in the provincial process, because you need to pass these exams in order to be eligible to be registered in any of the provinces or territories in Canada. So I will just go over in just a second. So after your federal exams, that is like the Canadian level exam, you go to your provincial level. So each province have their own registration authority, which are independent. So they have their own set of rules, they have their own set of laws. So all the federal laws are monitored by an association or an authority, which is National, here, sorry if you can see, National Association of Pharmacy Regulatory Authorities. So that one kind of takes over all the national set of rules and policies and procedures. But then every province has their own college, and that's where they determine, following NEPRA policies and procedures, they make their own rules and laws. So every province have a little bit of different requirements. So the province I'm registered in is Alberta. So for international graduates, you need to have certain level of English communication skills as well. So I am going to show you here. So these are English proficiency requirements for anybody entering in Canadian pharmacy profession. Lots of people do different ones like TOEFL. There is a Michigan English language test. There is IELTS. There is CAN test. Most commonly, IELTS is done, but you have to make sure it's not the general format, it's the academic format. And overall score for you is 7. That's what the requirement is, the federal requirement is for you to be registered in any of the provinces. It could be 6.5, as you can see it says plus minus 0.5. So for that, you have to be careful, because obviously this one can be done as many times as you like, but this is the minimum requirement that you have to get in order for you to register in any of the provinces. So I'll go back to the same page. So these are the language requirements from the different, like US graduates have a little bit of a difference, but all other international graduates need that, whose first language is not obviously English. Next thing is the bridging program. So bridging program, I took the bridging program. It was optional when I started, but now it's mandatory in 3 different provinces: Alberta, British Columbia, and the third one is Ontario, where the bridging program for all the international graduates is mandatory. So Alberta and BC don't give you a choice, but Ontario has given you a choice. If you pass your qualifying exam, means MCQ and OSCE in first attempt, you don't have to do that. But if you don't, if you fail any of them, then you have to do that. Then it becomes mandatory. And this is fairly expensive, and also it is like 10 months to 11 months long. So not a lot of people like to do that. But honestly, once you're an international graduate, this does help. This helps you see what kind of stuff you will be doing here in Canadian pharmacy practice. You learn about the pharmacy culture, you learn about the practice, you learn about the jurisprudence, ethics, and all that. So once you're done with the bridging program, now you're ready to enter into practice. So you apply to the Provincial College for registration. So you get registered as an intern, so you can start your internship. So here in Alberta, there's Alberta College of Pharmacy. In that, so if you can see on the screen, there are a few things, like once you're done with the English language test, once you're done with the PBC MCQ, PBC OSCE exam, and then the bridging program, you're eligible to apply for like internship or to be registered as intern with Alberta College of Pharmacy. So there is always a fee, so there is a $630 fee for this one. Next one is your training, which is called structural practical training, or internship in other words. Internship is different in different provinces. The province I'm practicing, Alberta, they have around 1,000-hour internship in total, which is based on 3 different levels. So level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 is basic, 450 hours. Level 2 is a little bit more advanced, and level 3 is only 100 hours. So level 1 and 2 can be done at the same pharmacy, but level 3 has to be done at a different pharmacy under a different preceptor. So for this training, you need to find a licensed qualified pharmacist who already has been practicing here in Canada for a minimum of 2 years and have trained at least 2 Canadian students here in Canada. So not everybody is eligible to be a preceptor. So you have to be careful with that one. That's another thing. Another thing with this one is, like for the pharmacies, it's not mandatory for them to pay you for that. So most of these, it's a free labor. You have to be ready for it. It's around 6 months time. You have to work. If you work full time, some pharmacies might pay you. Not everybody will. So you have to be prepared. There are loans and other options available that you can avail during the meantime. Some pharmacies do pay you to help you out a little bit, but not many of them do pay for it. So that's your SPT or your practicum or your internship. Once you're doing your internship, your next step is your jurisprudence exam. So the jurisprudence exam is the provincial requirement. Each province you want to be registered, you have to do their jurisprudence exam. So that basically follows their laws, their bylaws, their ethics, and other policies and procedures. So you have to pass this exam. That's another MCQ exam. All the exams here, other than the OSCE, are MCQ exams. And for this one, there is no limit. So you can attempt as many times as you want. But obviously, you need to pass this exam in order to practice in that province. So for the jurisprudence exam in Alberta, there is a $175 fee for that. So that is not a lot compared to all the other steps. Once you're done with the jurisprudence exam, once you're done with your SPT, and you're done with all the exams, you are ready to apply to be registered as a licensed pharmacist in Alberta. Then you fill out an application, attach a few things with that, and you pay the fee. So every year there is a $944 fee that you have to pay in order to be registered with a college. So every province has different fees and different amount of time it takes for different provinces to get there. So for Alberta, as you can see here, it takes around $20,000. It like you have to spend around $20,000 in order to be registered here in Alberta, which is quite a bit. And this one here it says 26.55, which is actual like the time frame, like in months. So 26 months, if you can see here, 26 months is the actual time frame, which is like done by this Pharmacist Gateway Canada. Just to show you, this is how long roughly it takes. If you pass all the exams in time on first attempt, it will take you this long. So a little bit over 2 years. But honestly speaking, with if you have a family, if you have kids, if you have other financial issues, you have to get another job to support your family, it takes a bit longer. I'll say 3.5 to 4 years, depending on where you're at, how good your clinical level is, and all those things add up. And gradually, even if you fail one exam, then your year is pretty much gone, and then you have to attempt in 6 months or so. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. Once you're coming here, you have to be prepared that it's a process. It will take like pretty much 3 years, or even sometimes in some cases up to 4 years. So this is basically it for the registration process in the nutshell. So comparatively, if we compare like a couple of other provinces, Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario, those are the three provinces where bridging program is mandatory, so the cost goes up. Other provinces, like look at Manitoba here, they don't have a bridging program here, so you don't need to do the bridging program. And the reason is your final cost is not as much. In Alberta is $20,000, here it's only $7,100. But again, the time frame also is reduced to 16.5 months, which I don't think is practical. It takes longer than that. New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Quebec. So Quebec is a French province, so you need to have the French language in order to get registered over there. Saskatchewan, same thing, they don't have any bridging program. The territories, so you have to be registered in one of these provinces up top in order to go practice in any of the territories. So there is not much requirement for them. You just need to apply once you're registered in one of the provinces, and you can go practice over there. So that's not a big issue. So yeah, that's basically it. So if you have any questions or concerns, if you want me to go over on any of the other informations, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. If you can comment, then I will be able to respond to your questions as soon as I can. If you want me to go over and make some other video about any of the other things about the registration process, about the exams and stuff, I can go over in details. We can have a Q&A session as well. So please share, like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be able to hear from you guys soon. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.